Hey, hi Facebook. It's Jerry coming to you from the Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It's a beautiful day, a truly beautiful day. I wish you could see what it looks like here. I don't know where you're joining us in the world, but wherever it is, I hope you're having a day like this. Rythmia is a life advancement center that uses ayahuasca, metaphysical teachings, farm to table organic food, yoga, meditation, breath work, and more to bring about this amazing transformation that occurs in 1 week. And it is hard work. What are the results? Well, over 17,000 guests through the doors. 17,000. 98.36. That's 983 out of every 1,000 say they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. Amazing. Better yet, at the 6-month mark, 90.22%. That's like 920 out of 1,000 say that this was the week that forever changed their life. It's all happening here. Because of this, we get all kinds of people from all over the world. Every week here, there's people from Dubai, from Kazakhstan, from Mongolia, from Peru, from the United States, England, France, Germany, Switzerland. All over the world, they come here to experience this. And all different types of people from all different walks of life. We get tons of billionaires, lots of actors, actresses, sports personalities, and people just like you and me that are coming here to have this thing happen. And when this happens, it's called a soul merger or a soul reclamation. It feels like all the fragmentation in our life goes away, and what comes back is this wholeness, this beautiful, beautiful wholeness. Now, on our board of directors, we have the greatest surfer of all time, Kelly Slater, the GOAT. We have Michael Bernard Beckwith, Martin Luther King's son, Martin, the civil rights leader. We have Ron White, the comedian. We have Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup of the Soul, and many more that sit on our board. And they're not just board members. They come here, they experience this, and it changed their life so much that they wanted to become a part of it. And that's just the truth. Rythmia is again, a place like no other place in the world. When you walk onto these grounds, you feel different. It feels different. What happens here is something different. And today we're going to talk about going big number 3. So I want to talk about the process of what happens at Rythmia and what it feels like as time goes on, right? So when you go through this thing, it kind of feels like you might have come into Rythmia and you're between 2 FM stations. And then all of a sudden it gets tuned in stereo in 7 days, and you're really a part of it. And then the next most logical emotion that you have is that you feel this burning desire to become a beneficial presence on the planet, to be a benefit of those who are around you. That's usually the next thing that happens. And in that process, well, many different things occur, but this is kind of the norm, right? The norm of it is that in our singularity, in our unity, we decide how we're going to become a beneficial presence on the planet. And then we make a 10-year plan for that to happen. And we realize that it's going to take longer than we ever imagined, that it's going to be the hardest thing we've ever done in our lives, the hardest thing, and that it's going to bear more fruit than we can even fathom. That's the truth. That is the process. Now, in order to make that occur, in order to go big, we have to make new covenants with ourself. So today, I just want to talk about what those covenants look like. So one thing that a lot of people don't understand until they do the medicine, until they see the full picture of them becoming a beneficial presence on the planet, until they see that, they rely on motivation to keep them going and to keep them working towards a goal. And I'm going to tell you that the shift that happens in the medicine is away from motivation and towards commitment or a new covenant. So in these covenants, what happens is once we decide that this is what we're going to do and what we're going to become, once we decide that and we make this commitment from this very merged part of ourselves, we have to make new covenants. And those covenants involve a number of different steps that allow us to get to where we have to go. So it would be like a covenant, which is an agreement to have a daily practice. A covenant, which is an agreement maybe to commit ourselves to some form of exercise, because in a 10-year journey, we're going to need stamina to keep going. So the covenants might include 3 or 4 different things, and those covenants are unbreakable. And when we make those covenants, what we can do is we can stop relying on motivation, and we rely on the agreements that we made with ourselves. That's the beauty of a covenant. That's the thing. And then a covenant or a commitment or promise made in ceremony, whatever that ceremony is for us, is a covenant, right? So they're stronger than promises. They're covenants. They're things I agreed to, and I stake my life on that agreement to do these things. I stake my life on it. And that is how you approach this becoming a beneficial presence. In that system, in that practice, in that endeavor, a lot of things occur. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to make it so hard that it's unbearable. And at the same time, that all of the growth in this process, in this becoming of it, is our ceremony. It has to be hard. And we have to stretch, because new muscles are made by stretching and actually breaking the old muscles. So there is this thing. We don't want to say, okay, we've never lifted weights, and today I'm going to lift 1,000 pounds, or I'm not going to feel good about myself. That's not it. So in our plan, it's a plan of stretching. It's a plan of hard work. It's a plan of catastrophe happens during this thing, and yet we have to override it and be stronger and be better and do more. That is the system and process of becoming, right? What we don't want to do is make it easy and fall victim to making it easy. Because once we start to make things easy for ourselves, we no longer stretch, we contract. And you cannot become a beneficial presence on the planet in a time of contraction. So a lot of systems that were created to keep people down were created through giving. So what do I mean by that? Governments, companies, movements, a lot of times will give to someone until that person gets used to taking. And once they're used to taking, the giver owns that person. Now, you don't want to do that with yourself. And you certainly don't want to do it with your surroundings, right? Because if you're going to become this beneficial presence, you have to stretch yourself. And in stretching, We're expanding, not contracting. So things have to constantly become harder in order to be good for us. Things have to become harder. Now, at some point within the curve of your becoming this beneficial presence, you get in flow. In flow is when you attain mastery. And in that attaining of mastery, there's a time where things get easier, and then you have to arc up again so that you can create more expansion and grow more. So this is the process. So if you have an assumption or a belief that it should be easy, you're wrong. This is not going to be easy. Anybody who tells you it's going to be easy is lying. This is your hero's journey. This is your ceremony. This is your becoming. And when we go into it with the proper mind, with the proper mind frame, with the proper expectations, then it's doable. It's not easy. It's doable. The fact of the matter is, over 90% of the people quit. So the difference between the 1% and the rest is that they don't quit. They don't quit. They're not looking for a place to rest. They're not looking for an easier way to do it. They're not looking for convenience for themselves, right? They're stretching. So if you can get used to the thought of continually having to stretch, then you're going to have a better experience of this journey. If you ever see someone who looks like I call white knuckling it, they hate what they're doing, they hate being in this thing, and they're just waiting for it to get easier, that person is not content. That person doesn't have a feeling of joy, contentment, or fulfillment. They have a look and a vibe of desperation with hopes to an end. That is not how to go through this thing victoriously. And when I say victoriously, I really mean that. It's going through with nobility, with a definiteness of purpose, with peace, and peace in spite of, so once you decide that you're going to become this beneficial presence, there's a lot of people who are invested in your not becoming it. So there's going to be things that come against you. There's going to be darknesses that come out. And for you to walk through that with nobility, peace, and a sense of calmness, that is how you win the race. That is the beauty of doing this. So what I'm going to tell you is that if you rely on commitment, a covenant, not a motivation, that's the first step. And you get your list of covenants, what they are to you, and you know they're adamants and provisions to get to where you want to be. So make those covenants and do them in ceremony. Does that mean plant medicine ceremony? Nope. It can be. It can be a meditation ceremony. It can be a prayer ceremony, where you agree to these couple of non-negotiable things, three non-negotiable things. I'm going to tell you that your ceremony is waiting for you, that today is the first day for you to decide that you want to do this. It's wonderful. I'm also going to ask you and persuade you to please come to Rythmia. Please have this thing happen to you. Have it affect your heart. Have it be the change in your life that you want, that you're looking for, and that you need. Come visit us here. Come visit us quickly and change the trajectory of your own life. Until next week, God keep you, God hold you, and we will see you.